This is NNC Neural Newscast, online at nnewscast.com.
Neural Newscast Global. I'm Andrew Lindbeck. Today is September 1st, 2025. On this day in 1773, Phyllis Wheatley's poems on various subjects, religious and moral, was published in London, marking a landmark moment as the first book by an African-American poet to appear in print. A powerful earthquake has struck eastern Afghanistan overnight, killing hundreds and cutting off remote communities.
Hundreds are dead after a powerful earthquake strikes eastern Afghanistan's mountainous region. The quake hits remote districts overnight, collapsing homes built of mud and timber. Rescue teams struggle to reach villages cut off by landslides and poor roads. Hospitals report dozens of injured arriving as aftershocks rattle the area. Authorities warn the toll could rise as crews dig through rubble. International aid groups prepare tents, medical supplies, and food as temperatures drop. What remains unclear are the exact magnitude, epicenter details, and how many communities still await help.
Taliban authorities report a catastrophic death toll after a major quake, and aid groups mobilize urgently.
More than 800 people are dead after a 6.0 magnitude earthquake strikes eastern Afghanistan, Taliban authorities say. The quake hits overnight in rural mountainous provinces, collapsing homes built of mud and brick. Rescue teams dig by hand to reach survivors as aftershocks rattle the region. Hospitals report hundreds of injuries and urgent needs for shelter, water, and medical supplies. The Taliban's disaster agency warns the toll could rise as remote villages are reached. Neighboring countries register tremors and aid groups mobilize. One official calls the devastation widespread, urging immediate international assistance.
Israel says an airstrike in Gaza City kills Hamas spokesperson Abu Obaida as ground operations intensify. The military reports the strike hits a command site and targets senior militants ahead of a planned invasion of northern Gaza. Troops push deeper into Gaza City and surround key neighborhoods. Israel's security cabinet meets to weigh broader action. Hamas has used Abu Obaida's broadcasts to rally support and issue threats. The strike aims to disrupt communications and command. Israel says it will continue to dismantle Hamas leadership, signaling a prolonged campaign.
Ukraine links Russia to the killing of Andriy Parubiy, a former parliament speaker shot in Kyiv. Police announce an arrest and say evidence points to a Moscow-directed operation. Russian officials deny involvement. Kyiv frames this as part of Russia's wider campaign in the war, one perspective in a long-running information and security struggle. Analysts note targeted attacks can serve propaganda and intimidation goals on both sides. Prosecutors pledge transparency and due process as they prepare charges and seek potential accomplices.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer names Minouche Shafik his chief economic advisor, elevating a leader with global finance credentials. Shafik, a former IMF deputy managing director and Bank of England official, expands Downing Street's international expertise. Her appointment revives debate over her turbulent 2023 to 2024 tenure at Columbia University, when campus protests and policing decisions drew sharp criticism and support. Backers say her crisis management and economic depth strengthen policy. Critics question judgment and campus governance. Both views reflect ongoing discussions about leadership and accountability. Keir Starmer has named Minouche Shafik as his chief economic advisor, prompting renewed debate over her record.
Meta says it will block AI chatbots from discussing suicide with teens and will direct them to crisis resources.
Meta blocks its AI chatbots from discussing suicide with teens. The company says it adds stricter age safeguards after safety reviews. Teens who ask about self-harm now see crisis resources and prompts to contact trusted adults. AI tools steer users to hotlines in their country. The change applies across Instagram, Facebook, and Messenger. It follows concerns that large language models can give harmful advice. Meta says it is expanding content filters and human oversight. The goal: keep AI helpful without risking teen safety.
AI doppelgängers step into the workplace, promising to handle meetings, emails, and training in your voice and style. These digital clones fuse hyper-realistic video, lifelike voice models trained on minutes of audio, and chatbots tuned into your habits. The pitch: Be in two places at once without burning out. But impact goes beyond convenience. Clones raise questions about accuracy, consent, and who owns your likeness. Meanwhile, lidar maps disaster damage in 3D, turning flood lines and fire scars into precise, dollar-based recovery plans.
Hollow Knight Silksong launches September 4th with a $20 price tag, $5 more than the 2017 original. Team Cherry sets release time for 7 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The long-awaited sequel arrives after missing its 2023 window. Fans finally get new adventures with Hornet, fresh areas, and tougher foes. One more countdown, then dive back underground. As Team Cherry teases, soon.
That wraps today's headlines. For full stories and updates, visit and follow our podcast, International Developments You Should Know. Monica Kellen is here with more details.
This is Monica Kellen for Neural Newscast.
Cassandra Joyce joins us with the latest. Israel says it killed a senior Hamas spokesperson as ground operations intensify in Gaza City.
This is Cassandra Joyce for Neural Newscast.
Daniel Grove has more on this.
This is Daniel Grove for Neural Newscast.
For political insight, here's what's new. Kyiv says evidence points to Moscow in the killing of a former Ukrainian parliament speaker in the capital. Sarah Wheaton has more on this. President Trump is moving to reshape the Federal Reserve by elevating allies and testing institutional independence.
This is Sarah Wheaton for Neural Newscast.
Here's Daniel Grove with more.
President Donald Trump moves to reshape the Federal Reserve, elevating allies and testing its independence. His team weighs new nominees for the 7-member board in 2025, while conservative advocates push for tighter control over rates and regulation. Supporters call it a mandate to align policy with elected priorities. Critics warn it risks politicizing a traditionally independent central bank. Allegations against Governor Lisa Cook and broader vetting fights reflect a larger power struggle. This debate is part of ongoing discussions over how much influence presidents should wield over the Fed. This is Daniel Grove for Neural Newscast.
Let's hear from Cassandra Joyce.
This is Cassandra Joyce for Neural Newscast.
Now, let's report on the economy.
A roundup of fusion startups shows a few companies have pulled in more than $100 million each.
I'm joined by Ethan Wells.
Fusion startups attract $7.1 billion to date, with most of that funding concentrated. A handful of companies each raised more than $100 million, signaling investor confidence in commercial fusion. Big rounds back diverse approaches, from magnetic confinement to laser-driven designs. The money aims to prove net energy gain, build pilot plants, and secure regulatory paths. Investors bet on breakthroughs this decade, but timelines remain tight. If even one succeeds, fusion could reshape power markets, cut emissions, and create high-tech manufacturing jobs. This is Ethan Wells for Neural Newscast.
This is Neural Newscast, where machine learning meets meaningful reporting. All stories are reviewed for accuracy before release. Find our full archive at neuralnewscast.com.
Innovation and tech trends are next. Kara Swift joins us with the latest. AI, doppelgängers, aim to stand in for workers, while lidar is used to map climate damage in precise detail.
This is Ethan Wells for Neural Newscast.
Benjamin Carter is here with more details.
This is Ethan Wells for Neural Newscast.
Exploring the latest in science. Solar Orbiter finds 2 separate sources for near-light-speed electrons streaming from the Sun, improving forecasts. Now Nathaniel Cohen joins us.
Scientists trace near-light-speed electrons back to explosive events on the Sun. Europe's Solar Orbiter identifies 2 distinct groups produced by solar flares and by coronal mass ejections, or CMEs. The probe links the fastest electrons to flare sites, where magnetic fields snap and reconnect. A separate stream emerges as CMEs blast outward, accelerating particles along vast shock fronts. The findings clarify how radiation storms start and how they race through space. That helps forecast hazards for satellites, power grids, and astronauts on future lunar missions. One scientist calls it a roadmap for space weather alerts. This is Nathaniel Cohen for Neural Newscast.
Game results and big plays coming up. Premier League summer signings are drawing early assessments as clubs chase consistent returns from big fees. Let's hear from Thomas Golding.
Premier League clubs spend billions this summer, and early returns from new attackers draw scrutiny. Benjamin Sesko starts fast for Arsenal with 3 goals in 4 matches. Tottenham's Pedro nets twice and presses relentlessly under Ange Postecoglou. Victor Gyökeres powers Chelsea's front line with strength and linked-up play, but finishing wobbles. The stakes rise as September fixtures tighten. Managers now demand consistency, not flashes, to justify those fees. This is Thomas Golding for Neural Newscast.
Now, let's share the latest in entertainment. Dwayne Johnson is earning award season buzz after a gritty Venice premiere performance. Here's Lydia Holmes with more.
Dwayne Johnson sparks Oscar buzz in Venice with The Smashing Machine. He plays MMA legend Mark Kerr in director Benny Safdie's gritty drama, premiering at the Venice Film Festival. Johnson sheds the superhero sheen for bruises, addiction, and raw emotion. He gets visibly choked up discussing the role, calling the transformation something I was hungry to do. Emily Blunt co-stars and praises his vulnerability, fueling awards season chatter.
Hollow Knight fans can expect Silksong to arrive September 4th with a modest price increase over the original.
This is Lydia Holmes for Neural Newscast.
Lucas Bennett joins us, has more on this. A British DJ transformed her life after surgery, turning to decks and performing globally.
This is Lydia Holmes for Neural Newscast.
I'm joined by Grace Sullivan.
British DJ Tina Woods, known as Tina Technotic, turns a late-night epiphany into a second act. At 56, after a friend's 60th birthday in southwest London, she detours to Le Fez and rediscovers the dance floor. The rush convinces her to make music central. Post-bunion surgery, she swaps raving for decks, now performing globally and seeking connection. She says the experience feels rejuvenating, even lowering my biological age. This is Grace Sullivan for Neural Newscast.
You've been listening to Neural Newscast, AI-powered, human-reviewed. For past episodes, visit neuralnewscast.com. Neural Newscast fuses real and AI-generated voices for fast, quality news. AI creates, humans review. We aim for accuracy, but errors can happen. Verify key details. Learn more at nnewscast.com.